the Husky huddle, we gather round. Coach Schumann and Steve Cully were never found. They talk about the team with such zeal, strategies and plays. They analyze it well. The stadium's full of cheers and shouts. You right? Spirit will never doubt. Coaches share their thoughts. It's quite the treat. In this lively huddle we always meet. Huskies, we stand tall. With Coach Schumann and Steve Cully we call. Game plans and strategies, we break it down. In the Husky huddle, our passion won. From defensive line.
All right. Nothing better than the Husky huddle song.
The mariachi music just makes it so. That's great to see. That is just great to see. And another banner episode of Husky Huddle with the coach Schumann coming off a grand flag football championship game. He is the champion. He's the Vince Lombardi of flag football. And I would also say, Chris D, you never Chris D, I will pay for you to come on the show. Please, just once.
I would pay too.
Email Benedict and say that they need to add our content. That's all you need to do. And you have a Mike Martz-like offense, which I am blown away by. Like, I don't think Joe Figiano could execute the offense that you have.
Oh, of course he could.
The passing game. My God. Incredible. But, man, I was looking over our roster again, and I wanted to talk the running backs.
Yes.
We only have 4 running backs, which is light, especially, going into camp. Because you usually run 3 units in camp, and I'm sure they're going to split the ones with Cam Edwards and Mel Brown, and then you have Victor Rosa, MJ Flowers. I'm sorry, there's 5 running backs, and there's a freshman they brought in. So it's just it's small, it's tight. God, I remember even at Holy Cross we used to have like 6 or 7. That's it. But Cam Edwards is the guy. I mean, he's special. He split time, but he had 800 yards. He had I think he had one of the longest runs of the year. He's a dude. Mel Brown is smaller, but he's got speed. He's more of a scat back. But I lambaste them for running outside zone as much as they do. I kind of can see it because when you have backs like that who are smaller and have speed, you want to get to the perimeter. I just wouldn't always use that concept. I always liked for my perimeter run, I would run the power ride play. The front side power where the back jets across and the quarterback reads the front side end and shuffles. And if the end obviously comes up the field, he gives it. If the end goes with the back, then you have the guard pulling and you run quarterback power. Now, That obviously you can't do with Joe Figiano. There's no way you can run quarterback power. So getting the ball on the perimeter, it'll take a little bit more creativity, but that's also why I like counter. And that's why I also said Burton's kid, I think, will be a valuable addition along with the transfer from Northwestern, the tight end. If you can run counter H can bounce because a lot of defensive ends will wrong arm. Yeah, they'll wrong arm when the guard pulls. So the second puller has to read the wrong arm and goes outside of it. And now your counter bounces, which I don't have a problem with because usually your second puller ends up on a safety because the linebacker gets lost in the shuffle. So that's why I think, they could use counter as an outside run play. I think they can even do some 21 personnel stuff. I'd love to see them do that and, have Burton in the backfield and run toss, old school toss. A lot of teams like to run toss and power with it. They'll pitch it and then come downhill and run power. So I think that gives them a lot more versatility. It just depends what personnel grouping they're going to go with. But the running back position, by far, offensively, is the most productive. With Cam Edwards, with Mel Brown, I think this MJ Flowers is going to be something special. And, Victor Rosa had a great year. He just kind of fell behind because, those guys are better than him. It's not anything that he did. You watch Cam Edwards run. Cam Edwards runs angry. Mel Brown is very, very patient, very good with his timing, very good with setting up his blocks.
Right.
Cam Edwards can get downhill a little bit more, but when you see, we rushed for, I think, over 2,000 yards. That's going to be the key. We're gonna have
the versatility of the running back. So Mel Brown being a kick returner, speed guy.
Yeah.
MJ Flowers is going to be able to bang it up inside.
He's a big guy. Yep.
Victor Rosa has been there for a long time. He's been a guy.
This is only his junior year. Yeah.
Yeah, and he's had a big role at times for them.
Yeah.
And then they have I don't know, Oliver Lundberg Coleman from Sweden.
I thought he was I thought he was a freshman. Does it say he's a? Yeah. So he was the freshman they brought in. He's from where? Sweden. What is RIG Academy? I never heard of that.
I don't know.
I wonder. Oh, it's got to be in. I'm just curious if it's in the States. Oh, I didn't know. Actually, how do they get the money to recruit in Sweden? We have no money, and we're sending coaches overseas.
We have money.
Money, not money to recruit Sweden. Do you think there's any truth to the rumors UConn may go to the Pac-12 as football only? Yes. There is truth to the rumor because they don't have a choice. They have to get into a conference. Oh, there's the first yawn. Okay. The problem is, like we've stated, financially, we are not going to be able to survive without getting into a conference. We need the television revenue, and without it, we're not going to be able to raise enough money.
Sorry.
Now we're sneezing. As Frank says on Moneyline, Harvard could be the national champion if they wanted to because they have the most money. They don't have a massive television deal. They have a huge endowment. We do not. We have a good endowment, but it's not going towards football. So
no, not at all.
They're rebuilding the Pac-12. It would be costly for us, but if we go as football only, it would be worth it, I believe, because of the television money.
Right.
July 1st is the official date. The House versus NCAA settlement is done. Players can start being paid by the university. So that'll start July 1st. I don't know how we are doing it. What I don't like is the bootleg.
But here's the thing. Did you hear about the latest thing with the NCAA?
No.
So the latest thing is that the girl, I don't know what it's called, Women's Association is suing because for
it violates Title IX completely, I'm sure.
Yeah, we've talked about that. How could it not, right?
Well, it technically does not violate Title IX because Title IX never anticipated players being paid. So all Title IX states is there has to be an equal number of sports and scholarships for men and women. So it has nothing to do with who gets paid and who doesn't. Right. Now, they can make the argument that it ties into Title IX, and I absolutely believe it does. And I had this argument with Maria Conlon last week. I said, Maria, this throws Title IX out the window. And Maria said, what sport generates the most money? I said, football. She said, it has the biggest TV contract. It has the biggest attendance, merchandise. They deserve to be paid the most. She said, I work in sales and it's great. Everyone gets a job opportunity, but I make the most money because I sell the most. And she said, that's capitalism. You don't like it? Go to Cuba. And that's kind of how she feels. But I do believe that. What's going to happen is the cap right now is $20 million. The only conferences that can pay that are the SEC and the Big Ten, like we talked about. The rest of the conferences won't have $20 million to spend. And there's going to be, like, Ohio State has 33 sports. Stanford has 1 million sports.
Right.
They're going to cut sports. They're gonna like, if men's swimming and diving gets cut, women's swimming and diving is going to have to get cut, and they're going to become club sports. That's number 2. So that is the dilemma, and because there's no regulation, it's going to be an absolute shit show this year. Because it's they as I talked with Sean Mulcahy about this, they made all these decisions, but there's no organization or plan in place for executing them.
Right.
It sounds great. Yeah, sure. The players should be getting paid. There's number 4. Sure. So the players should be getting paid. The schools and the NCAA have made billions of dollars off the backs of these athletes for decades. Absolutely, They should get paid. There should be, in my opinion, there should be a structure of payment for equality. And I know people disagree with that, and the star quarterback should get paid $20 million, and the running back should not, and the offensive lineman should get $50. I mean, people believe that. But I think to keep the NCAA, if you want to keep it amateur, pay everyone the same. I mean, I think the budget's good. I think the payment should be this. There's young.
No way. Why should it be the same?
Because there's going to be no parity. I know there's no parity to begin with. I know the Power 5 or Power 4.
Oh, I thought you meant men and women the same.
Oh, I both in both ways. I just know that the SEC and the Big Ten is going to separate themselves tremendously because they can pay more for talent. Okay. So not only are they going to separate themselves there's going to be parity between men's and women's sports, because there's no female, unless you're a Caitlin Clark or a Paige Beckers, who is going to make financially close to what a top level quarterback will make.
Right.
And that is the
dilemma.
That's
the attendance. That's the games, like.
No, I agree. Like that's why I said our attendance is so critical. And last season, only having 2 games, 30,000 people plus in a 40,000 seat stadium. I mean, there's FCS schools that probably had higher. There's young number 6. There's FCS schools that probably had more attendance than us. And that's just, and we had a winning team. Now it's just the schedule We have been getting a lot of commits.
What was our average
we
attendance?
have. I don't know what our largest attendance. I will come on the show if athletic director of the year ever gets us in the Big 12. I don't know what our average attendance was, but it was under 30,000.
Right.
I mean, it had to have been in the mid 20s. So that is a bad look, and that is what makes us not as desirable to the bigger conferences. But I believe in time, just like when we made the move to 1A, now there was a lot more excitement behind that, and that's why games sold out in 2003, 2004, 2005, because there was excitement of having a 1A football team.
Right.
Where now it's really a rebuilding moment. Basketball is back to, basketball was always king, but football had a run where it,
Right.
That's number 7. Football had a run where it was up there. And, we went to bowl games year in and year out. I talked with Razul. I was on Razul's show. He had his friend Jameson who played. He was on 07, the Meineke Car Care Bowl, 08, the Papa John's Bowl, and then 09, the International. What's that?
Was Razul show?
I do a show with Razul called Inspire Synergy. It's for his halfway house.
House changes.
Yeah. So he had his friend of his, Jameson, who does a lot of nonprofit work in Connecticut, and they're really struggling because Connecticut lost all funding, federal funding because of DEI. So like job programs and different things, they had a grant that they desperately needed, and they got a letter 2 weeks ago saying it was being canceled because of the federal funding issue. So it's hurt them. And I don't know how it affects UConn. I don't know if we're in compliance with DEI, but I mean, it's really affecting him. But he was telling me. Well, I mean, their organization bought a farm. He does environmental law, but he has a nonprofit on the side. He bought a farm where there's number 6. He is going to take at-risk kids or special needs kids and have them work on the farm, have them work with animals, have them learn horticulture. And that was the plan. But they needed the grant for this. So they lost the grant, and now it has to be put off a year, and they have to try to get funding privately through corporations.
Right.
So that was a disappointment. But the problem with UConn going to the Pac-12, the problem with UConn going to the Big 12, I think that it's great that we're winning. I just think we need to play a better schedule. If we can play a better schedule, there's yelling number 8. If we play a better schedule, and if we get attendance up,
right,
that will make. I'm just gonna. If I say I'm going to Mars, you're gonna say right.
Right.
If we play a better schedule, better teams come in, attendance comes up, and we still win, that will make us more desirable for the bigger conferences.
So I thought we could go to the Pac-12 now. Is that something that's?
We can, yes. Can I go to Mars? Yes. I actually signed up, Aiden, to go to Mars. I ate edibles and got high, and I signed up. I took 45 minutes, and I signed up to go to Mars.
I'm not shocked.
The mission is in 2026, but I'm currently 280 pounds. And at the end of my application, I found out that the weight limit per person was 215. So if I get in, I would have to lose a lot of weight. That was disappointing. Yeah. We appreciate your support, Aiden. Yeah, we absolutely could go to the Pac-12. The Pac-12 needs teams. And I don't know how many they have committed right now. I know they signed several Mountain West teams, but I mean, UConn going there just for football, I think could work. It wouldn't work in every sport because it's just too much money for the travel. But I'd love to see us go there for football. I think we could compete there for football. I think we can beat Stanford. I think we can beat UCLA. We can beat, Washington State. Yes.
Washington State's terrible.
That's yawn 10.
Yeah. Terrible.
That's why I said, yeah, I think we can. But when you look at our home schedule, I mean, UAB, Central Connecticut State, that is tough to promote. And I know they made a big release over the weekend on Twitter of the schedule and the times of the games. And it's just, even for students, like if you're a student and you're like, yeah, we're playing UAB this weekend. It's like, oh yeah, let's go tailgate and party, and it's UAB. Right. Like, it's UAB. No. And we're playing teams that we're absolutely competitive with and comparable talent-wise with. But unless we challenge ourselves more and bring in more desirable opponents, I don't know that winning 10 games with this schedule is going to be enough. Because to get into a conference. Because you win 10 games with this schedule and your attendance is 24,000 at home. Is that desirable for a conference? Especially without if you're not bringing basketball in. That's my point.
Probably not.
Probably not. Exactly. That's why I said within 5 years, I don't know how this program survives without consistent, unless Uncle Benny dies and leaves $1 billion to UConn football. I don't know how it's desirable.
Do you have an Uncle Benny?
No, I don't. I'm kidding. I'm just saying, like, some rich uncle would have to die and donate $1 billion to UConn.
Why does it have to be Uncle Ben's?
Oh, okay, Uncle Fred, Uncle John, Uncle Dave. What the fuck? Does the name matter? It's an uncle. I'm just saying, some rich uncle would have to die and leave an inheritance of billions of dollars for us to survive athletically as an independent. There's a reason. There's the Young 12. There's a reason there's only 2. We were having a conversation before this about flag football. You didn't yawn once. We talk UConn football, and I get yawned. I get yawned at.
It's not that exciting.
Why is that? It is exciting.
In season, it's really exciting.
But this is exciting. This is exciting because there's so much unpredictability. We don't know. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know how everything's going to go. We have a chance at doing something spectacular and great and beautiful.
I don't think we do.
Or it could be complete chaos and disaster and demoralizing and ruin the program. And you were the one that even said, if we win 10 games more, it could be out.
Well, I agree with that.
And Maria freaking said she thinks Hurley's going to take the next job.
I agree with that too.
You do not.
Yes, I do.
Are you kidding me?
Especially if he wins again.
No, not win again. The next job's open right now. She thinks that he would take it now if he's offered it or gets the interview for it. She thinks it's the right team, the right location, because of St. Anthony's or whatever. LA was a toxic situation with LeBron and his kid and the veteran team. New York's a younger team that is better fit for him. she 100% thinks that he could get that job.
That could be.
It's amazing you can talk while yawning.
While yawning?
Yeah, you talk while you yawn. That's hard to do.
It is. It's hard.
You yawn and say, "Are you looking at Chat GPT?"
No.
But so that's why I said the running back position is critical. Our running game sets up everything for our offense. If we can't run the football, we can't win. And I think with the addition of Ty Chan on the offensive line,
Chan will help. He's a big physical guy.
We're going to be good up front. I think we just need we need more variety in our run game. I think we have to rely less on the outside zone game. I think you have to build in some RPOs. I think you have to build in some gap schemes, and I think you have to run inside zone. Now, my old offensive coordinator always told me, because I was the asshole who would want to run everything, he would say, Steven, we can't be all things to all people. Pick what you want to be good at, and we'll work on it.
Right.
Because
yeah, I mean, UConn is going to win regardless of where they what league.
I don't think they're going to. Like, it's not like this schedule is favorable. We should win a minimum of 8 games, but still, even doing that, what does that accomplish for us? We beat 8 teams that we're better than. We beat 8 teams that are no names. You know, unless we pull off an Air Force or a Syracuse, and even then, you're beating a middle of the road ACC team in Syracuse,
right?
A middle of the road Duke team, and Air Force was down last year for the first time in a while. So that's what worries me. And then, you know, what they're doing with the revenue sharing, what they're doing trying to raise money. If you go to the Rock, I will pay you $1 million just to not yawn for 10 minutes. Can you, is there a way to do that?
Can I go to Mars? Mr. Fernandez wants to know.
Yeah, he asked that because of me. Yeah. That's why I said that, you know, I don't think winning is going to make the biggest difference. If it doesn't get us into a conference and we end up as an independent again, I think we're going to end up moving down. I don't know how we sustain. And the revenue sharing where, you know, we're having kids do cameos, social media posts for money. That's how we're fundraising. That to me is embarrassing. Like I don't, maybe other schools are doing it. I'd have to check the rosters. Like I'd love to go on Rutgers' website and see if they have $signs where you can get cameos from players or social media posts from players.
I don't know if you get cameos, but you probably could do some with them.
Well, I'm just curious if, like, you click on Rutgers roster, if there's a $sign next to the kid, and you click on it, and it lists for a price everything you can get.
Let me see.
Yeah, I want you to check that. Maybe it'll stop you from yawning.
Nothing's gonna stop me from yawning because I'm ready for my mid-afternoon nap.
Yeah, I know. I kept you up. We kept you up late because of the gout, and you know.
I didn't sleep last night. Is really the problem in this case.
What?
In this case.
Oh, because you were in pain.
I haven't been sleeping well, so.
Really?
Yeah, I didn't. I mean, my pain in my foot was obviously the big reason last night.
Do you have sleep apnea?
No, I might. So they're testing me for that.
Oh, that's a miserable test.
You know, you're right. They don't have it listed. Right, you said Rutgers, right?
Yeah. So there's no dollar sign listed next to the
Yeah,
players.
no, but UConn has that stuff. UConn has
Yes, I know. That's what drives me nuts. That's
no,
like,
wait, no. Some do. So here's a defensive lineman, DJ Allen.
oh, he does. Okay.
Yeah, there must be all on that platform. Also profile.
So it says
pitch anything
okay.
for $10.
So that's how they're doing it. Okay. But I think that, yeah. Well, Joe Figiano was 46 for a social media post. I told Burton that I'm specifically just going to donate to Joey Bag of Donuts and his son.
Who's Joey Bag of Donuts?
Joe Figiano. I said that's who my donations are going to go to. Joey Bag of Donuts and your son.
How's the son? His son's going to be a running back, right?
His son will be an off-ball tight end / fullback.
Oh, okay.
Yes, but that's why I said I think that he's a great addition because of what he brings to the table. You know,
right. I think
being able to run some zone divide, being able to run, even some toss, being able to have him, go out on screen passes and block in the flat for the receivers. He's not as much in the passing game, but I think he is an added dimension for the run game.
Right.
I think Hansen is outstanding. Hunnig is a solid blocker and physical, and Michael is athletic. He can block in space, and he can do a lot of different things, physicality and blocking wise, which give us more versatility in the run game.
I agree. I think it's a big deal, the versatility in the run game. Listen, our run game, our whole system should be like Tom Brady kind of back in the day. No?
I think we need to get out of the shotgun. I think we need to get under center. I think we need
we should be in shotgun, but I'm saying that
we can't be in shotgun. We don't have a quarterback that can execute a shotgun quick.
Everybody's
tempo.
in shotgun now.
Yeah, but not everyone who's in shotgun mostly has dual threat quarterbacks. Or a quick game. I mean, you can be in shotgun, but you have to have an answer when you run the ball because you're going to be a man short. So you either have to always keep the tight end backside to cut off the end, or you have to RPO it, or you have to have, a bubble built in, some sort of jailbreak built in, or you have to run a shit ton of nakeds to hold the backside end. And that was the issue, especially, in the bowl game at times. The backside pursuit would be so hard because Joe was not a threat to run.
Right.
And Evers he's an average to above average athlete at best. The true freshman, Hassan Farrar, the Virginia State Player of the Year, I think he will have a chance to start next year. He's athletic. I mean, he's got probably the best speed out of all the quarterbacks, the best athleticism out of all the quarterbacks. So to execute the spread, the zone read concepts, the RPOs, he would be the guy. Joe is a pro style quarterback, so you have to modify everything you do.
Yeah, it's not necessarily a bad thing though.
No, I don't think so. But that's my concern is I don't know that they're going to modify it.
Right.
They can't keep outside zone as their base run game. They have to run inside zone. They have to run some power. I really believe that. I really believe, zone divide, my favorite play in the world. That blocks everyone. And that gives your running backs a chance because we have running backs where if As an offensive line coach, all I cared about was numbers, was having a hat on a hat. Just get in their way, cover them up, spit in their ear, tell them a story, do everything you can. Just don't get knocked back. Get in their way. We can do that. Our running backs are good enough to make us right.
And there will be times when they don't. So they have to be able to understand that.
And they will. I'm sure they will. And they have. Cam freaking ran through a lot of shit. Cam would run through a lot of arm tackles. And tackling in college football has progressively just gotten worse because of, the rules and everything. Cam is the physical, tough runner, but he also has speed. Mel, it's earth, wind, and well, not really fire. I guess it's earth, wind, and diesel. And MJ Flowers will be diesel. He's just a tough physical back.
Right.
But I think we'll get a lot out of him. I don't think Victor Rose will see a ton of time unless there's injuries. I think those will be the big three. But that's what we need for our offense. If we can rush for 2,500 yards, and then Joe Figiano is efficient in the passing game, we'll win. So you can go. You can take your afternoon siesta. Maria is coming on Moneyline tonight to argue with Frank about the WNBA, so I'm very excited.
Oh, I want to hear that.
Yes, I know. I got Maria all gassed up. I told her Frank hates the WNBA and he shuts it off. So Maria said she's going to come on and argue with him for 10 minutes. I can't wait. And then we have our political correspondent, Tyler King. I don't know where he's going to be this week. Where does Tyler need to go? Where should we helicopter him into?
Hopefully he's not on the ground floor.
Well, do we still need him in LA?
No, probably not.
Okay. Where do you want to send him?
Send him right to the front lines.
Well, front lines where? You want to send him to Israel?
Yeah.
Didn't Israel get bombed or something?
Iran.
Oh, that's right. Iran bombed Israel. Okay, so we'll send him to Tel Aviv.
All right, so lemons are coming, I think.
Yes. So
you're the best.
This has been Husky Huddle. Coach Schumann has gout. He won a flag football championship.
So much pain.
He's in so much pain, and he's going to take a nap. And I'm going to go.
Hopefully I can. My foot hurts so much. I don't even know if I can.
Did you take your meds?
I did. It's up a little bit. It's helped.
Did you eat?
I ate. Yeah, I did what you told me to do. I listened.
And you took your meds, and it still hasn't knocked it out yet?
No, not yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. It's going to go. I promise you it'll go. It's been 38 minutes here. Give it another 20 minutes. I'm telling you, once you take the meds, it knocks it out. So when life gives you lemons or gout, don't make lemonade. Take 2 oranges, and you can just throw them back at life.
You got it.